Hi, singer. Welcome back to the Sing Confidently Live Creatively podcast. Estelle here, singer, actor, vocal coach here to help you build confidence in your voice and how you perform on stage, online, so that you can live a creative life. So this episode today is specifically about that feeling you get when you're like, okay, there's an audition, there's a new audition and I want to go for it. And oh, they actually want me to sing a pop song. Okay, okay. Or a song in the style of the show. And the show is like very pop. It's like a more of a pop song. And by pop, that's honestly a pretty broad term, especially in the musical theater space right now, because like pop, there's like pop rock, there's like pop folk, and so pop soul as well, if you're going for something else. So it's just different depending on the show. Like most of these like more contemporary shows are blending different genres. And so for us as musical theater performers, as performers who are singing musical theater and pop, like you want to be doing both, then you're going to need to know how to be versatile, right? How to be versatile. I think you can say it both ways. Versatile. I think I say versatile usually. Anyway, we have to be able to do different things. This is what versatile means. No, I say versatile. Okay, you guys have to tell me how you say it, but we have to be able to switch between different styles pretty easily, pretty frequently too. And I wanted to share some things that you can focus on from a coach's standpoint. As a coach, like this is what I do with students who, like, I have students who mainly are focusing on musical theater, whether for an audition, whether they're in high school, like they're wanting to audition for their show, or they're just like an adult, but they're wanting to do, musical theater for fun. I've had to, I've been able to help them work on the musical theater side. But then also I had one student who she was in her 20s and she also like she was doing musical theater, but she also wanted to sing like a SZA song. So like R&B kind of style. And so, but like we were also singing, at first I think we started with I Could Have Danced All Night from uh My Fair Lady. And then we switched over to My Man from Funny Girl. And if she's listening, she's gonna know exactly who she is. Um, which was great. All three, and then the SZA song was it 20 something? It's 20 something. I don't think it was that one. It was I'm blanking. It was another SZA song anyway. And yeah, SZA song. Say that 5 times fast. But anyway, so those are very vastly different genres, right? So you're imagine going from singing My Man from Funny Girl, oh my man, I love him so, he'll never know, to singing SZA, okay, R&B, like R&B soul, like maybe a little, just some pop moments in there too, but like it's just like vastly different styles of singing. And so these are, and I've had other singers, same thing, going from musical theater to pop and then back to musical theater and then back to pop. And it's like back and forth. Like I had one student last semester, a younger student, this one's a younger student who was singing Disney Reflection, right? From Disney from Mulan, a Disney movie. Who is that girl I see staring straight back at me? Now, granted, that song, I don't know if it was written by Christina Aguilera, probably not, but she performed it. And so there is like, you can definitely popify it, but we were singing it more towards the like more Disney sounding, like Disney princess sounding style, which is a little bit more entrenched in musical theater style of singing. And then we were then this semester singing Zara Larson's Lush Life. So now I found another crush, another Lush Life's giving me a rush, right? So like very different styles, different ways of singing. So these are the basic things that I have to work with students on and that I want to share with you that you need to make sure that you have down pat if you are switching between different genres where you're doing like, whether even if it's like more contemporary musical theater, but it's not in the style of a pop song or a pop soul song or a pop rock song, even if you're singing that, but then you're also going to then sing something that is in the style of pop, like something from Six, right? Or something like I had a student singing Ironic by Alanis Morissette, which is like a rock song. But then if you put it in the style of, if you're going to sing that for a Jagged Little Pill audition, which is a musical that has Alanis Morissette's music from her album Jagged Little Pill, that's like that's rock. It's like pop rock right there. But you might have some Broadway musical theater influences in the way that you're singing it if you're singing it for a show, right? So then you can also kind of combine the pop and the musical theater style. It all depends on what show you're auditioning for. It all depends on what the intention is of why you are singing the song. So if you're singing Ironic for the show, that's different from if you're just singing it for fun, you know. And so, yes, regardless of what it is, I've given you a lot of different examples just so you can kind of see what I mean. But regardless of whether you're doing it for a show or you are just wanting to sing pop or other popular styles of music, there are some things to think about if you want to be truly versatile and want to be able to bounce back and forth between these different styles of music. Okay, so I think that intro was just about long enough, and it's time to get to the main show. Okay, so number one, first, and honestly, one of the most important things to think about here is going to be vowels. Of course, your vowels, right? So let's go back to the example of, oh man, I really need to figure out. I really need to remember what SZA song she was singing because now that's in my mind. And that would be great to use as an example. So if we're doing, let's just start with let's just start with the idea of R&B song. Let's start with the idea of doing My Man from Funny Girl. Oh, my man, I love him so. He'll never know. All my life is just despair. Oh, Supermodel. That's what it was. Supermodel by SZA. Okay. So imagine you're going to be singing My Man, right? But I don't care, right? You're going to need to make sure that with that particular style of musical theater, we're not quite in, it's not golden age for sure. It's also not Six. It's not like super poppy musical theater because Funny Girl was around the 60s, 70s. 60s, 70s. So it's a little bit like more of like maybe contemporary music back then influence, but not really, right? It's very much like musical theater sounding. Like the entire show is very musical theater. So we would want to make sure that our vowels are not too relaxed versus if we're doing supermodel. I could be a supermodel if you believed. We don't need to have super open vowels on. If you see it in me, see it in, right? Versus if we're doing My Man. If I was going to do, if you see it in me, see it in me, from in Supermodel with the more musical theater style vowel shaping, right? If you see it in me, see it in me, right? I would kind of have to emphasize the E and C versus if I'm singing it in a more contemporary style. If you see it in me, I can lean, I don't have to lean into the vowel as much. I might not have to crescendo as much, right? I can relax my vowels a little bit. So I hope that's a good example. I could definitely have come up with other examples, but yeah, you can compare and contrast different songs and think about like how you would relax it versus open up the vowel a little bit more for the sake of clarity and clear tone, which you need a little bit more of in musical theater singing. If I want to use the song Ironic and I want to sing it in a more traditional like pop rock style versus if I want to actually sing it in a show, I'll sing it differently. For instance, I might do, it's like rain on a wedding day, if I'm just singing it on my own. But if I want to make sure that I'm getting the story across and I'm going to open my vowels a little bit more, it's like a rain on a wedding day, if I was going to do it more musical theater style. So it's going to change the way your volume is. It's going to change your resonance and all of that because of the vowels. So having more relaxed vowels versus having more open vowels where you are intentionally wanting a clearer tone or a more resonant sound to be produced, that's what we would play around with if we were doing pop or contemporary styles versus musical theater style of singing. Okay. I hope this makes sense. I'm using very broad terms here because these are really broad terms, like pop, musical theater, those are very broad, but just to give us a basic overview. Okay. This closely connects with the second thing, which is consonants and articulation. So vowel shaping connects really closely to consonants, of course, because consonants and vowels make up words, and the way that we articulate our consonants. So going back to the supermodel example, if I'm singing, I could be a supermodel, right? If I was singing musical theater and I was stuck in that musical theater way of singing, and I sang that song by SZA with that much articulation and that much emphasis on the consonants, it's gonna sound a little odd, right? In that particular genre of R&B, and that contemporary style. Ironically, I'm saying that I'm comparing pop and musical theater, but I'm not singing any actual pop songs. Okay, let's look at Lush Life, for example, by Zara Larsson. So imagine I'm stuck in my musical theater ways and I'm trying to sing Lush Life, and I'm going to sing, now I found another crush, Lush Life giving me a rush. It's a little bit too much articulation there. Now I found another crush, Lush Life's giving me a rush. It doesn't need to be as articulated, right? So that more relaxed articulation and relaxed consonants the second time around allows it to sound more poppy. It sounds more contemporary, and that little switch makes all the difference. Okay. Those first two examples, the vowels and the consonants / articulation, are really, really key. Like if you want to be singing musical theater, you have to be able to have more of those vowels that are going to allow you to create more resonance, more of a clear tone. And you also need to make sure you have articulation and consonants down pat. Like there's no way around it. You're going to need that. Even if you're singing pop musical theater, you're still going to need that, but it's going to be a little bit different. So you're not going to have so much of it necessarily. So you kind of have to play around with your ratios if you're singing something like Six or something even like Hadestown that has more pop folk influence in it. So, but you're going to need to be aware of your vowels and your consonants and articulation. The other two things I wanted to mention are not really related to technique, but are still super, super important for your versatility as a performer. So if you're wanting to sing any sort of musical theater that's more traditional musical theater, or even if it's pop musical theater, if it's in the musical theater setting, right, you're going to need to make sure that your internal connection to the song, your own personal connection to the song, is not overriding the character's connection to the song. So you're really making sure that your singing is connecting to the character, right? So it's really, and that the audience can connect to your song as well. So you kind of have to subject your personal connection to the song to the character's connection and the audience's connection in order to sing a musical theater piece. However, on the contrary, if you're singing a pop song or a non-musical theater, more contemporary style song, say at an open mic night or a live performance somewhere, you're going to make sure that your personal connection to that song needs to come through, right? Maybe you're singing even a contemporary worship music at church or something. Your personal connection to the song needs to come through. So, because there's no character, it is you. And you also can consider and should consider the connection of the audience. So that there is a similarity there. And regardless of whether you're doing it in a show or you're doing musical theater or you're doing non-musical theater, you still want to make sure that the audience is connected to that song. But with musical theater, you're serving the character. It's about how are you as a character connecting to the song? Non-musical theater, you need to make sure that you are being vulnerable as a singer. And that takes courage, but you got to be able to do that in order to really connect with the song. That's going to help other people connect better as well. So that connection piece is another thing to think about. That very much differs between musical theater versus non-musical theater, pop singing. You got to be able to get that down. As a performer, it's not just about your vocals. It's about the way that you emotionally connect, or the way that you as a character are emotionally connecting to the song. Very, very important. You can have all the technique in the world, but if that connection is gone, it's not there, no one is going to care as much as they would if you have that nice, deep expression and emotional connection. All right, last but not least is, speaking of expression, is your expression versus the character expression. So this is more of that like external part of it. So if you are, of course, singing musical theater, you want to think about how would the character not only connect to the song, right, which you talked about just now, but how would they then express that, right? So are they going to, how's their body language going to be? And some of this is stuff that you'll work with your director, your choreographer to figure out, even your music director. But you as an actor, you as a performer, you as the artist can also really think about, how would my character sing this? How would they express themselves in this way? Versus if you're singing in a non-musical theater setting, you're singing a more pop song. And we can go back to the example of ironic. We can think about, if I'm singing ironic in the show, Jagged Little Pill, that's going to be different. I have to think about my character. How's my character feeling in this moment when they are singing the song, right? And how can I express that? Versus if I'm singing ironic at karaoke night because I'm having fun and I want to sing a little Alanis Morissette, or I'm doing it at an open mic night, or I'm doing it a cover song at an event that I'm playing at, I'm singing at, right? I'm not going to be thinking about a character. I'm having fun with it and I'm going to express myself personally, and if I want to, tilt my head back as I belt this song into the microphone, that's up to me to do that. But if I'm going to sing this in a show, I am not going to necessarily do that if it doesn't fit the character. Does that make sense? So your outward expression is going to vary depending on whether you're playing a character or you're just doing this as a personal performance. You're just personally performing it and expressing yourself. Either way, expression is also super important, right? So we have to be able to, not only do you need to have that personal connection to the song, but you then need to express that in a way that allows everyone else in the audience to engage and to know how you're feeling. You got to be able to share that, which also takes vulnerability and courage. And that's what I love to help singers with. So I hope that these are kind of these tools, these aspects of these aspects of singing musical theater versus pop and contemporary styles. I hope that this helps you kind of think about what you need to focus on in order to be a truly versatile artist and go back and forth between these different styles, whether inside the context of musical theater and the fact that there are lots of different styles of musical theater now, including pop and contemporary commercial music. Or you are literally not even singing, like you're not in the musical theater space at all. In some settings, you're actually just singing pop for fun or at an open mic night or whatever, versus you're going to sing musical theater at an audition and it's like more traditional musical theater. Regardless, you're going to need to be versatile. You're going to need to be versatile as an artist. And I hope that this helps you to see some things to make sure that you are focusing on when it comes to that versatility, when it comes to developing that versatility. I love to help singers with this. If you have a song that you're like, this is like a pop song, but I feel like I'm stuck in my musical theater world and I can't really sing it in a way that's relaxed. Like my vowels are not relaxed enough. Like I feel like it sounds clunky. It's not sounding good. You can come do a free trial lesson with me. It's like a mini lesson, 15 minutes. We'll chat. You can sing a little bit. I'll give you some feedback and then we can decide if you want to keep working together. It's free. So why not? Why not try it? Or if you have, for instance, you have a musical theater song that you're wanting to sing for an audition coming up, but maybe you've been stuck in pop music for a long time and you feel like you're not quite getting that musical theater vibe at all. Like it's just like not sounding good. Like you're not able to connect to it, or you're feeling like stiff when you're singing it. You don't really know what to do with your hands or your body language or your expressions. I would love to also help you with that. So you can go to creativelybyestelle.com/studio if you'd like to book that free lesson. creativelybyestelle.com/studio. Go and check it out and see if you want to do a quick little call with me. I'd love to help you out with that. And we can go from there. Okay. And overall, I want you to really, my last final tip here, my last final word here, I really want you to just be comfortable and confident singing in both styles, all out, fully being able to sing in both styles with confidence is really the goal. That way you can find your unique sound within each broad style, right? Each broad genre, regardless of whether I'm singing a musical theater song that is golden age, or I'm singing, a pop rock song, or I'm singing a soul R&B song, like regardless, I know my sound and my sound is unique to me. And I can tell, like you should be able to tell that it's me singing, because it's my own unique tone that's coming through, but in different ways. And that seamless ability to flow between different genres is just such a strength as a singer and a performer in this industry. So I want you to get comfortable and confident being able to do all of those styles full out, like not hiding it at all, not putting yourself down, feeling super confident, and knowing that you're singing in your own unique voice and your unique sound is coming through in each genre. Each genre is just like, they're just tools for you to get your unique sound out in a different way to serve, different things that you're doing. So I hope that helps you. And I hope that is what your focus is. Again, come and do a trial lesson with me. I'd love to help you out with this at creativelybyestelle.com/studio. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next episode. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode and to this show. I'm so in awe of you for being here and showing up for your creative gifts. That takes courage. Don't forget to join the performing arts community on Facebook for support and inspiration as you continue on your journey. If this episode helped or inspired you in any way, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and share it with someone. It means so much. Thank you again, and don't forget to keep singing, acting, dancing, performing, and living creatively. Talk to you next time.